All right, thanks, guys. We are coming off a solid 3-in-1 day on patreon.com/Brock Page. And that's a website that I operate that gives you daily premium sports picks beginning at just $1.99 through the end of the month. Now, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and take a look at some international Setka Cup table tennis action. All lines and odds taken from the Fox Bet Sportsbook. And we're going to start with Konstantin Yanatinsky taking on Igor Hudushin, 1:40 p.m. Eastern start time. Hudushin's lost his last two straight, while also dropping 4 out of his last 5 as well. Igor suffered losses to the likes of Semenets, Yatchenko, and Paraguda during that stretch. Igor has also been victorious in just 2 out of his last 7. Yanatinsky on the other side, a little bit different story there, as he's currently smack dab in the middle of a 4-match winning streak. He beat Hudushin, Dovzhenko, and Kucherov during that span of victories, including a 3-0 shutout of Oleg Kucherov within that span of matches. I like Konstantin in this spot here. Give me Konstantin Yanatinsky winning this one outright for some moneyline cash. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for Tuesday's International Setka Cup table tennis action. Happy Tuesday to you. Hopefully you had a good start to your week. I know that I did, because before we go ahead and move on with the program, I got to quickly remind you once again to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage, where we did go 3-in-1 in our 4 premium sports picks on that website. Good for 75% on a Monday. Great way to start off the week. We're also 19-9 in our last 28 crowd pleaser teasers as well. Very good package for us right now. We do daily premium sports picks on that website beginning at just $1.99 through the end of the month. We'll bill you the day you sign up, and then the first of every month following that. We have a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. Currently, we have well over 650 members currently signed up and active on that page. Now, you might be wondering, why would all those folks sign up to receive Patreon picks where they can get them here for free on YouTube? And that's certainly a great point, a great concern. But there is a big problem with me handicapping every single game on the board, side and total. And the problem is this. If you were to bet every single game on the board that I put out here on YouTube, side and total, you are almost guaranteeing yourself failure. And you're not mishearing me. I know that sounds weird, but just hear me out. If you're going to bet every single game that's on the slate with your hard-earned money, it's certainly not a winning formula for success. As a matter of fact, it's a recipe for disaster. The books are way too smart. They're way too sharp. They certainly have a lot more money than you and I do combined to be able to absorb that kind of action. And most important, the math becomes aggressively against you the more and more games you play like that. So what I do on Patreon is I make life a lot easier for you. I break it down and focus in on just 3 to 4 premium selections per day. They're high percentage picks, games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you this much, my current Patreon record is a whole lot better than it is here on YouTube, handicapping every single game that is on the board, side and total. And the good news is this: if you want to check out my current Patreon record, you can actually do that for free right now. That Patreon record is located right on the homepage. So all I have to do is click the link in the description section below. I'll tell you what, I'll also include a link in the comment section below as well. And once again, that is patreon.com/BrockPage. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive back into some more free lines and personal leans right here on YouTube. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we have Yaroslav Karashenko taking on Ivan Efemenko, 2 p.m. start time. Efemenko's won 5 out of his last 7, including shutout victories in 2 out of those 5. Ivan's garnered himself marquee wins over the likes of Varlamov, Nazarov, and Mischenko during that stretch of victories. Meanwhile, on the other side, Yaroslav Karashenko's lost 3 out of his last 4, including humiliating shutout defeats in 2 out of his last 5 losses. Yaro fell short to the likes of Mischenko and Efemenko during that stretch of failure. 0-3 straight up in his last 3 head-to-head matchups with Ivan. I got to fade Yaro in this spot here. Give me Ivan Efemenko winning that one outright for some money line cash. And with that, we're going to slide into our next matchup. It is going to be Kirill Ichenko squaring off against Michael Veronin in a 2:05 Eastern matinee. Veronin's just 2-6 straight up in his last 8. He failed to win 2 sets during. He failed to win. What I'm trying to say is, I don't know how to say this properly. He failed to win 2 sets in every one of those 6 losses. So out of those 6 losses, he did not win 2 sets. He either won just 1 set or less than that. I don't know how else to put it. I don't know. It's early. But anyway, Veronins fell short to the likes of Zherbak, Marchuk, and Gorilov, just to name a few. Now, Ichenko on the other side has won 2 out of his last 3, including hard-fought victories against the likes of Paracheko and Obrskov during those wins. I'm going to give the slight edge to Ichenko in this spot here. Give me Kirill Ichenko winning that one straight up in a competitive contest. All right, next matchup, it is going to be Oleg Paraguda taking on Sergey Semenets. 2:10 p.m. start time. Semenets dropped 5 out of his last 7, including losses to Yatchenko, Hudushin, and Paraguda during that stretch. Matter of fact, Sergey was shut out 3-0 by Oleg Paraguda during that stretch of losses. And speaking of Oleg on the other side, he's currently 3-2 straight up in his last 5, while also garnering himself victories in 5 out of his last 8. Even better, Oleg shut out his opponent in 2 out of those 5 victories. Paraguda's defeated the likes of Yatchenko, Hudushin, and Podolian, just to name a few. Got to give the advantage to Paraguda in this spot here. Give me Oleg Paraguda winning this one straight up in a close one. Next contest, Vlad Mischenko squaring off against Anatoly Nazarov in a 2:30 p.m. showdown. Nazarov's won just 3 out of his last 8, with losses to the likes of Varlamov, Efemenko, and Mischenko. And as a matter of fact, Nazarov's dropped 2 out of his last 3 head-to-head meetings with Vlad Mischenko. And, you know, speaking of Vlad, he's gone 3-2 straight up in his last 5, including victories against the likes of Efemenko, Varlamov, and Nazarov during those matches. Got to give the slight edge to Mischenko in this spot here. Give me Vlad Mischenko winning that one straight up in a competitive matchup. Next contest, Andrei Paracheko taking on Max Marchuk, 2:35 start time. Marchuk's won 3 out of his last 4, while also posting a record of 5-2 straight up in his last 7. Max has beaten the likes of Gorilov, Kylo, and Veronin during those victories. Meanwhile, Paracheko on the other side, 2-match losing streak at the moment for him, while also losing 3 out of his last 6. Paracheko's lost to the likes of Sherbak, Veronin, and Gorilov during those defeats. Gotta fade Andre in this spot here. Give me Max Marchuk getting the job done in convincing fashion. Next battle, it is going to be Ivan Efemenko squaring off against Anatoly Nazarov, 3 p.m. start time. Nazarov's lost 5 out of his last 8, including losses to the likes of Mischenko, Varlamov, and Efemenko during that stretch. And speaking of Efemenko, he's playing really well at the moment, going 5-2 straight up in his last 7. 2 shutout victories within that span of matches. He beat the likes of Mischenko, Varlamov, and Nazarov during that span of matches. Looks like a pretty good spot for Efemenko backers here. Give me Ivan Efemenko winning that one straight up for some money line cash. All right, next contest I have for you. It is going to be Vlad Litvinov facing off against Michael Veronin, 3:05 Eastern start time. And as bad as Veronin has been lately, this might not be too bad of a spot for him. He's currently on a nice little 2-match win streak, victories against Kylo and Paracheko during that span. He's also taking on one of the coldest players in professional ping-pong right now in Vlad Litvinov. Vlad's lost his last 8 straight matches and was shut out 3-0 by Sokolov in his last outing. I got to fade Litvinov in this spot here. Give me Michael Veronin winning this one outright in a close one. Next matchup, it is going to be Yaro Karashenko taking on Vlad Mischenko, 3:30 p.m. battle. Vlad's gone 3-2 straight up in his last 5. Victories against Efименко, Varlamov, and Nazarov during that stretch. Vlad also took care of Karashenko handily in their last meeting, 3-1. And speaking of Yaro, he's lost his last 3 straight and posted a record of just 1-5 straight up in his last 6. Even worse, Karashenko was shut out in 2 out of those 5 losses. Looks like a pretty dicey spot for Karashenko backers. So with that in mind, I'm going to lean toward Vlad Mischenko getting the job done in this spot here. All right, next and final matchup for the show, it is going to be Artem Derivinsky taking on Kirill Ichenko, 3:35 p.m. start time. Ichenko won 2 out of his last 3, including victories against Paracheko and Oberskov. Derivinsky, on the other side, has dropped 2 out of his last 3 himself. He's also been shut out in 2 out of his last 4 defeats. Not an overly impressive spot for Derivinsky backers, in my opinion. I'm going to lean toward Kirill Ichenko getting the job done on the money line. All right, let's go ahead and dive into some well-deserved shout-outs. Once again, brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we went 3-1 yesterday in our 4 premium picks on that website yesterday. Shout out to my good friend Barton Wood. Good to see Barton. Also, shout out to James Hannon. Great guy there. Love James Hammond. Mark B., Mark Baldwin, John Klotz, Andy Raphael, Jimmy Gold, Black Rogue, Serban Sergu, Hustle Wilson. Also got to give a shout out to Josh Villalobos. Shout out to Going Crazy, Sergeant AR10, Mr. B, C. Dinger, Leon CRI, and last but certainly not least, there we go, shout out to Armando Garcia. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. Happy Tuesday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.